in the world? What are they talking about? Near extinction? Catherine Austin Fitts recently had an interview with Tucker Carlson regarding some underground bases and where we think the missing trillions might be. So without further ado, I would like you to watch this video.
But there is a history of near extinction events. And one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this.
So in a previous video, we talked about the fact that there were missing trillions of money in the United States from our government that have taken the money and it has totally disappeared. Catherine Austin Fitts is talking about that very same issue, about the fact that the government is well aware of it and it is off the balance sheet, which basically means that it's not being tracked.
And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes.
So I'm not sure if you're aware of that. I was not really aware of it. Tucker Carlson was not really aware of it, is the fact that there are these underground bases that are being funded by our tax dollars. What is going on? And why is the government not telling us about that?
We have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So
what she's saying is that it is secret. The government is keeping it secret from the U.S. citizens. And that is disconcerting because the government is supposed to be, we the people, we're supposed to be aware of what's going on. And yet they're building these underground bases and they're not telling us about it. That's disconcerting.
In the United States?
In the United States, and all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Solera Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170.
Oh my gosh. We're not talking about one or two bases. 170 bases that they documented, not only on the continent, but also around the continent. That's not just one or two. That is really a serious issue.
With a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me.
Okay, wait a minute. A near extinction event? What in the world? What are they talking about? Near extinction? Are we talking about nuclear event? Are we talking about Apophis hitting us, which is an asteroid that's supposed to hit the Earth that NASA has said is not going to hit the Earth? Are they not telling us? What are they not telling us? This is really disconcerting.
Two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret, that you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from.
Okay, wait a minute. Now we're talking about a secret space program? We do know that Trump, during his first administration, he inaugurated some kind of event regarding a space program, but now we're talking about a secret space?
Things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event, that's.
So I know.
Okay, who gets to go in these bases then? If we're having a near extinction event, they didn't tell me. Does that mean I get left out? So if we're going to have a near extinction event, I'm not happy about that. I want to know what's going on.
Thing about this, my only window into it, I knew a contractor who worked on one in Washington, in the city of Washington, D.C. Right. And I remember him telling me about a power box, like a transformer box on Constitution Avenue. that he told me, because he worked on it personally, was actually the exit, the egress from White House. That was by vehicle. I thought that was, and I was like, really? He goes, oh yeah, no, I installed it, I know. And I thought, well, that's kind of crazy that in the middle of this big city where I was on Constitution Avenue every day, that you could build something like that without me knowing it. Under the VP's house at the Naval Observatory, same thing. I think most people know that. Next to my brother's house on Macomb Street in DC. But I always thought that was like preparation for nuclear war. Like, I didn't really think about it that much. Some of it is,
yeah. It's preparation for catastrophe.
So they're talking about a catastrophe as though it were an actual event that was going to happen. It wasn't something that might happen. They're talking about it as though it were going to happen in the near future. Now, how near is it? We don't know, because the government's keeping it secret. So I'm a little concerned.
Do you think that there are facilities like that in other places outside DC?
Oh, yeah. So if you're interested, we have a great interview. I did an interview of Richard Dolan on underground bases on the Solari Report, and it's sort of an introduction to the topic, and it's based on a lot of the research of a guy named Richard Sauter, who is very hard to interview. So Richard kind of went through all the material, and clearly I don't know if you ever saw, Washington Post did a project, it was in 2010 or 12, called Top Secret America. And one of the reporters, it was a team of 2 reporters, one of them put together a database of all the different top secret installations that had been built in the country, including since the Patriot Act. And what you saw was just this explosion of money in building so many both underground and above ground facility. But
now the interesting thing is, we're aware that there are some, like Area 51. Some people are aware of the fact that there is an underground base that is under the airport up in Denver, and there are other ones, but she talked about there being 176, not only in the United States, but around the continent, as well as outside the country. So it makes me want to wonder, what is going on with our world that people are not telling us about? If we're expecting a near extinction event in the near future, what can we do to prepare ourselves with it? So guys, the question is, we might have found where some of the missing trillions went. I don't know what to do about the near extinction event, because there's not much I can do about it. I don't know much about the underground bases other than what I just heard. And I'm planning to do a little more investigation in this. But aware that there are underground bases. We know that there's a Raven Rock Mountain Complex. We know that there's a Cheyenne Mountain Complex. We know that there is Area 51 and Dulce Base. So we are aware that there are some underground bases. And a lot of those are designed for a catastrophe that might happen within the United States to protect the President of the United States. But it doesn't really address the issue of the public in terms of what we the people are going to be protected. So what she's talking about is something that we are aware is a reality. There are underground bases. I know during Obama's presidency that they expanded the base that was underneath the White House, and there was a big to-do about that back in the day. But at the same time, she has a lot of serious things that she's been studying this for a long time, and they've been looking at it for quite some time. But the question is, how do we, the people, what can we do? So this is a little disconcerting, but where do we go from here? I think we found some of the missing trillions, but we also don't know, what does that mean for us? If there is a near extinction event, we the people need to know about what's going on so that we can take precautions. Are we going to be included in this underground bases? Or I don't know. This is just, it's a new development that we are exploring, and in the process of trying to figure out tariffs and trying to figure out where our money is going and trying to figure out what we can do to benefit ourselves. I came across this. I've been listening to Catherine Austin Fitts for quite some time now. She's a very credible source. She used to be Secretary of HUD during the Bush administration. She served more than 1 year in public office. She's been involved for quite some time. And she's a very credible source and somebody that I listen to personally. And I think you guys should at least, take the chance to kind of check her out. But beyond that, this is going to be an ongoing discussion in this channel, and I want to bring it up, but I wanted to bring it to your attention today too. I am Robin, your tax therapist. If you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe.